Hello, everyone, my fellow Jam site members. This is Christina Fenton, your PR director for the 2021 to 2023 period. I'm here with my wonderful colleague and friend, Tricia K. Williams, who is a registered clinical counselor in private practice here in Vancouver. Say hi, Tricia.
Hi, everyone.
She's also an associate counseling psychologist in Jamaica, and she's a very, very well respected and valued member of my PR committee. I'm talking with her today because, we know that people have been asking me questions about engaging in social media use for their practices. And as someone who has a YouTube channel and quite a bit of experience in producing content for that, I would love to give Tricia a chance to share some of her tips with you. So I've just got a few questions for you, Tricia.
Yes.
What would be 3 tips you would have for Jamaican practitioners to help them to become less hesitant about using social media?
Okay, so off the bat, I will say, yes, I understand your hesitation and I can, understand why you'd be like, oh, I don't know if that's for me, if that's my space. Like, I don't know. It's also public, right? So these are the things and the thoughts that were in my mind when, I wanted to do something like this. So to do social media, to put yourself out there, it's a vulnerable sort of thing, right? You have to feel comfortable with yourself and, in order to put yourself out there. So completely understand the hesitation. So off the bat, I understand. And what I will say is that it really stemmed from me wanting to reduce stigma, right, around social media. So that it came from that passionate place. So the first suggestion or tip that I would give is try to figure out why you want to do it. So what is your why, right? What's your reason behind it? So try to figure out a sense of purpose, and then that sense of purpose will then direct you in what it is that you want to do. So for me specifically, I wanted to reduce stigma surrounding mental health. I wanted to share stories, right, from people. It could be professionals, it could be, regular individuals, that could be clients, right, who had a story around transitions and wanted to share that. And by them doing that, it would, I guess, bring hope and resilience and help others to recognize that, I'm not alone. And it's okay to seek professional help because it can do wonders. So that was my why for starting. The second thing I would say is you want to have a plan, right? So once you identify what your why is, then you have to figure out, okay, how am I going to do this, right? And so for the YouTube channel, like Christina, you've been a guest, like there's a specific process, right, that you have to go through. And I planned this all out before I even put up the first video, right? So I have at least 10 videos that are recorded ahead of time before, anything gets uploaded. And then it has to go into an editing process where my husband, my brother, and a few others are involved in ensuring that the video is up to quality, right? You want to make sure whatever you put out is top notch, right? And the best quality. So even if it's going to take time to do, just make sure that, like my husband said, design is important. And making sure that you have a good thumbnail, right? The thumbnail is a picture that, the first thing that a person sees when they're scrolling through, YouTube, they'll see this image, right, with words on it, possibly describing what your video is going to be about. That's the first thing a person sees, right? And you want to ensure that it's captivating, but at the same time, it looks very specific. So when someone sees that, they're saying, oh yeah, this is Meta Transitions channel for sure. Oh yeah, I want to watch that video because I watched the last one and I really liked it, right? So those things are really important. So when you have a plan, you're identifying for yourself, okay, who do I want to target? Who are the people I want to watch this? And I specifically wanted to target emerging adults, so individuals that are, transitioning a lot, like whether they're getting out of the teen years, they're going to school, or, they're trying to figure out what next step they want to take in a career or in a relationship. Do they want to have kids? Do they want to get married? So lots of different transitional stories in the emerging years. So that was the age group I wanted to target. So identify who are the people you want to see this content, and make sure that whatever content you're putting out is going to match with that age group. So that's the second tip. The third tip I would say is have fun. Like really, try to enjoy yourself. Don't take it too seriously. Yes, you're in a profession that is supposed to, is deemed as serious, and, you're thinking about another person and wanting to ensure that you're showing up professionally. Yes, you have to think about it from that point of view. But at the same time, this is a space where you don't have to always be professional. You can sort of have fun and play with it a little bit. You can have little tiny videos that you put up, shorts on YouTube, but then you have Instagram and you have Facebook and you have LinkedIn, and these spaces where you can show a little bit of your personality. You can talk about who you are as a person. And I know, Christina, before we started recording, we talked a little bit about, getting to know you, to know me as a person, right? So you want your audience to be able to say, yeah, that's such a Tricia thing to do, or, be able to look at your content and be like, oh yeah, I know Tricia loves dogs because she has like dogs on her profile all the time, or, oh, I know that she loves to go and travel because she loves to put pictures up of places that she goes to, right? So you want to be able to ensure that people get to know who you are by, sharing a little bit about yourself. But yes, at the same time, recognizing that there are particular things maybe about yourself that maybe you shouldn't share, that are too personal or too much information. So yes, sort of towing the line between, sharing a bit about yourself, but not too much so that it becomes non-professional. So those are the 3 tips I'd share so far.
So what I'm hearing is that, the social media presence is a reflection of you, but it's in a way, what I'm hearing you say is that you would handle it the way you would handle a self-disclosure in a session. That,
Yes.
is it in the best interest of the person who's listening to this to hear that thing that you said? And that, in a situation like that, there is a professional way to self-disclose. There is a professional way to show who you are, because very often that piece between therapist and client, the therapeutic alliance and the fit, is actually really essential to the work. And sometimes people see you and say, I want to work with that person because her vibe matches my vibe. And that's kind of what I'm hearing. So to kind of piggyback on that, as you experimented with all of these different things, because I'm sure that you've learned things as you've gone along and engaged more in the space, what have you found has really worked for you?
All right. So what's worked for me? The truth is, so many things happen all at once, right? So networking on LinkedIn really work for me. Like I would say worked and work like to say, like I would say I will see, particular individuals and some of the things that they're doing, and I'll send them a message. Like I'll quickly send them a message. I'm very good at connecting with people one-on-one or in small groups. So I think about what is something that I do naturally that, that will not be something that I feel intimidated about. So I'll reach out to people on LinkedIn. I'll be like, how are you doing? I see that you're doing such and such, that's really great work, and I'll also say to them, this is what I'm doing. And, connecting with people on a personal level, I think is really great. And you get to know a lot of different people. So I think networking on LinkedIn was one of the things that really helped, because a lot of people have said to me, oh my God, how do you get so many people to come on your channel? And I'm like, well, I just talk to a lot of different people. I really share in some of the things that they believe in and their values and the things that they're posting as well, right? And I connect with them. And then I tell them about myself. And I'm like, is this something you'd be interested in? And I'm open about what their response is. Like if they're like, no, this is not something I'm really interested in, then I'm like, okay, that's totally fine. I'm still, a cheerleader for what you're doing, right? So they recognize that it's coming from a genuine place. The things I'm saying to them, I'm really trying to connect with them and not necessarily connecting with them just for them to become, a guest on my channel. And what I found is from those conversations, people will then say, you know what, I have something coming up that, maybe you'd want to be a part of, or, there's this thing that I'm doing that, maybe I won't be on your channel, but maybe you could be a guest at this other thing. So then it opened up opportunities for me to be able to collaborate with them in a different way than I was thinking, right? So those opportunities came up, like presentations, or, becoming a guest on their podcast, for example, right? Or someone writing a blog post about me, right? So those are opportunities that I found really worked for me when it came to social media, just networking with other people and talking to people in DMs, like that's a thing actually. So it's pretty cool.
So that's very interesting that you use LinkedIn, which is a social media platform for professionals, to then reach out to people to produce more social media content. And that's very interesting. It's almost like a snowball effect once you put yourself out there in that capacity. And so part of me wonders, I mean, you're talking about linking with other professionals for the purposes of meta transitions, but I'm curious, have you had clients reach out to you based on things that they have seen in your social media space?
So specifically my website, so it's not necessarily social media, well, maybe both, because what happens, my lovely husband embeds my videos from my YouTube channel onto my website. So I had a few clients say that I checked out your website and, I really like what I see there. And sometimes I'll ask, what specifically did you find interesting about the website? And a few of them will say, I watched a few videos on your website. And I'm like, oh, wonderful. Which videos did you check out? And they'll, we'll get into this conversation about the video and why it was important to them. And then it brings out sort of, this is what I'm struggling with, right? And I find that, again, the stories from just regular people just sharing what's going on for them, people connect with that. And then it gives them, it feels like it gives them space to share their own sort of story and what's going on for them, like vulnerability, right? And I think that that's one way that people are like, okay, maybe I'd talk to her, maybe I'd call her, right? And want to have, I guess, a more professional conversation surrounding whatever it is that they're going through. So yes, I've had a few people, but it happens on the website and not necessarily in the social media space.
Right. So I really enjoyed hearing that, Tricia, that, you started with a social media presence that connected to other things that then ultimately served your professional capacity. And so I just wonder, to someone who's really listening to this and going, oh, well, this is all very nice, but I'm shy, or I don't know where to start, or, oh my gosh, this seems hard, or this is a young people thing. What would you say to that person?
I would say to that person that I would say start small. It doesn't have to be big, right? I would say like using something like Canva is a really nice tool that can help you, like all the design things you could possibly need, like a thumbnail, you can create thumbnails there. You can create Instagram posts there. You can have short videos put together there, right? There's so many things you can do with that platform. So I would say, if you have a young person in your life and you have a vision and you want to, think about doing something, but you're unsure how to do it yourself, what I did is I outsourced all the things I did not know how to do. I outsourced it to somebody else that could do it, right? So I have somebody who does search engine optimization for my channel. Like I know a little bit about it, but I don't know a lot about it, right? So I went and I said, okay, who can I find? And it was another networking thing that I did on LinkedIn. And I found, two people actually, but one of them worked out well. And I decided, okay, let's jump in here. Let's see what this person can do. And they've been great so far in helping me to figure out something that I have no idea how to do. So I would say outsource to people who might know more. So if you're finding that you're having difficulty, creating posts or, putting videos together, get somebody who can do that, like cinematography. Like my husband records all our videos and edits all our videos. And, I do all the uploading and the interviewing, right? So I would say find someone in your space who may be willing to partner with you or might be willing to do some of the work with you, and get it done. I would say start at least. It's very small. You can use your phone, right? Prop it up on some books. Like, I'm telling you, people start from the smallest places, and you never know how big you can grow by just starting. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, never underestimate the power of a selfie stick.
I'm telling you, right?
Well, thank you so much for that, Tricia. I know that our membership is going to be very pleased to hear these very simple tips coming from a fellow Jamsite member. And, I would like to give you the chance to just remind everyone about the kind of work that you do and where they can find you.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm a registered clinical counselor. I do DEI work as well. So diversity, equity, and inclusion consultation. So if you would like to reach out to me, you can definitely do so by email. So Tricia@metacounseling.com. And you can also check out my YouTube channel, and it's Meta Transitions. And my Instagram page, you can definitely check me out there. And it's metacounseling_. Love to hear from you. So don't feel free to message me if you have any questions.
Thank you so much for that, Tricia. And I look forward to even more content from you as we go along.
Well, thank you for having me.